Hi, YouTubers. This is Lisa getting back on here to talk about a topic I actually love talking about. I named it What Are We Feeding Our Souls? Our Daughters Are Watching. And I want to talk about what are we feeding our souls? When we're watching a lot of television, which I told you lately I have been, I've been noticing a lot of negativity on TV, especially how they portray the black race. Getting very disgusted behind a lot of programs that are on. I knew that it has been going on for years, but as I'm watching, it's even heightened. It's alarming, in my opinion. I want to first talk about these shows, these reality shows, is what they call them. In actuality, they're not reality. I know we have our problems in the black race, any race, but I'm particularly talking about this race. For one, that's what I've been watching. And for two, I noticed that they stereotype us a lot. And that's what I'm seeing on a lot of these shows. Someone asked me to watch a couple of these shows, so I did binge watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I did do a short video on that talking just about Mortel because that's the big story. But I also want to dig a little deeper and talk about what I also saw with the husband and wife relationships on this show. The men were very dominant, and the women seemed to either ignore it or maybe believe that's how a man is, but that's not how a real man is. I mean, men, of course, they're dominant. They have that gene, but they're also respectful. And I that's what was lacking in this show was the respect for their wives. I can't remember the names because, like I said, somebody asked me to watch it and I binge watch it. So I should have wrote the names down as I was watching it, guys. So I'm sorry if any of you watch it. Just let me know your take on it. Just talking about the relationships with a couple of the girls. Tisha's one, her and her husband. Now, Marceau, I think that's how he pronounces his name. It's not Mortel, it's the other one, Marceau. This guy just trips me out. I spent a lot of time trying to figure him out first because I thought it was a joke. The facial expressions that he give and the little smirks. I thought maybe this guy just ain't real. I know this is supposed to be reality TV. I said, but he's putting on a big show. Anyway, come to find out that he plays up that masculine part in the that masculine role in the marriage to just overboard. She seems like a bright young lady wanting to get out there and do some things, and he seems to be holding her back. Then I was watching Kimmy and her husband, and unbelievable that this woman had cancer, I think a couple years ago, because I know last season she was saying she was in remission. She looks good, by the way. So I'm glad she got through that. Thank you, Jesus. But to have that type of husband by her side, who all he talked about was, and seemed a little angry about her not being sexual with him. And I thought, oh my God, this woman, first of all, was fighting for her life. And then he didn't understand that her hormones was imbalanced. And also with the medicine. And then her self-esteem because she lost her hair. And he was talking about trying to get her back in the bedroom, trying to make her happy again that way. And not once does this man say, I just thank God that you're still here. You're still beautiful. I didn't hear that. Now, if he did it off camera, I hope so. But what they're showing us is not good. And again, our daughters are watching. They're watching this crap. And they're looking at these women And some of them may just see a man in the household and they may see a nice house, but they may not take in that this isn't the type of marriage that you want. Then there's that Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now they're calling these shows Real Housewives, and hardly anybody's married. And if they ever were, it never lasts. It just seemed like when you go on reality TV, that's it for your marriage. You can count it gone. I tried to watch some of that. I couldn't really watch any of that. Not too much, but my take on that is pretty much the same. The men. I'm not seeing any upstanding men. And that's what we want our daughters to see. We'd be blessed if we had a husband that really talked to our daughters about what it's like out there when they get out in this world and men are approaching them. Some of them is just not prepared, or some of them just see the lack of that manliness in their household, and then they have to end up with these guys on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Not a good show, in my opinion. I didn't watch it all. I did watch a couple seasons when it first came out. I had stopped, but then I tuned in to watch the last season, and no, it's not a show that I will want to watch and feed my soul, and I definitely wouldn't want our daughters to watch. Then one show that I do keep up with a little more is Real House of Potomac. I thought, okay, this show would be a little better because when it started out, they were showing more of them as business women, and that's what I liked. But got a little raunchy too. I mean, I know people like drama, but it's to a certain extent, in my opinion. Uh, they're on there bickering, and I can't watch it anymore because there's a girl on there, Candace. I think I spoke about her in my last video. I just can't stomach because I know bullies like her. And the venom that she spits out, you should hear some of the things she say, and you can see her mind just when something triggers her. There's this look that she gives, and she's ready to light it up. As I want to say it lightly. Um, she's going to say every negative thing she can say. She don't care how hurtful it is, and she goes deep and she goes way below the belt. And I can't watch her. So now I want to get to Real Housewives of New Jersey. Wow. I do know a little bit more about this show because I did used to watch this as well. It's not in its season yet. I know a new season's coming up, but there's so much phoniness on there, like all the other shows. But you have these mostly Italian women on this show. And it's like everybody wants to say they're friends, but I don't see any true friendships. I don't fight with my friends like that. We never go below the belt. So our kids are watching this, and this is what they're going to see with their friendships. So when they get into these type of entanglements with their friends, cursing each other out, stabbing each other in the back, they're going to think, well, that's what a friendship is. And they're going to go back to this friend who is a snake because that's what they're shown. Friends do this. No, they don't. No, they don't. I have some good friends, and I have some friends that I can go way back to high school. We would never, I wouldn't have it. I don't call that a friend. And I don't take friendships lightly. And I think that's what's happening. People take friendships lightly. Just because I'm around you, that doesn't mean you're my friend. I need a ride or die, or you're just an associate to me. So this is what they have on TV. Not too much is good on TV, in my opinion, and especially these reality shows. But they're big. They're big. So this is what everybody's watching. And all I could do is think about our kids, our daughters, about the examples that they're showing on these TV shows. I watched Married to Medicine. Somebody recommended that. They said, "Oh, that's a little better." No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Man, there's a couple women on there that, oh my God, I wouldn't even want to be in their presence, let alone call them a friend. I'm just tired of seeing women going back and forth like this. I think that I spoke to a guy, he's also on YouTube, and he's trying to pitch these shows. And we've been connecting, and I was trying to pitch a show to him, and he said it's not going to work. That's not what they want. We started out like that. There has got to be a show that where they can get a group of women together, and at least two of them women out there stay as friends. Now, Real Housewives of Potomac, there are two of them that I think that are truly friends. They got a podcast together. Um, Giselle and, oh my God, what is her name? Can't think of her name right now, but they seem to be friends. And I'm hoping that that's a true friendship and that friendship stays together because you never know. Like I said, these aren't really reality. They want them to battle. So I'm hoping that those two stick together through thick and thin, like these, whatever the saying is, and that would be something good to watch. And I do like that a little bit better because, like I said, they will talk about their businesses more. Because Karen, the grand dame of the show, I can stomach her because we do see a lot of what's going on in her life as far as business wise. Then I just want to touch on Basketball Wives. Because when that first started out, I wanted to see what Shawnee was talking about. Shawnee O'Neal, at the time, ex wife of Shaquille O'Neal. And again, I thought, oh, I'll get to see what these girls are doing with their business and starting their business. I know there's going to be drama, but at least I'll see that part. I was hoping it's 50-50. Yeah, show a little drama. I know that's what most people want, but I wanted more. And I think what a lot of the shows are lacking for me is class. First of all, I have to see your character, and I can't see it behind all that phoniness, the makeup. And me and my cousin was just talking about how they just, it's so much makeup, it's so much hair, it's so much. So when you're looking, you're just seeing fakeness. Why do you, what are you hiding? And why are you hiding behind all of that? And everybody's starting to look alike, in my opinion. They're all getting the same surgeries, the same butt lift, eye lift, whatever they can lift. And they're all wearing the long weaves and the, what, 6, 7, 8 inch nails now. They're just all kind of blending in together. And just because everybody else is doing it, don't mean you have to do it. Show a little bit more class. But how can they? I'm almost certain they're told that if you don't have this type of storyline, you won't be on the show. You got to give the viewers what they want. But because I'm so into my writing now, and now out here trying to do YouTube with the content writing, I am going to try to really hard pitch a couple shows that to show them that there's still a lot of us out here that wants a little drama, but we want to see a little more than that, a show with a little more substance that our daughters can look at and be more proud of, or even us to look at. So that's just my take on TV. And when I say, what are we feeding our souls? We're all of this is consuming us. You can bet that 9 times out of 10, the way most of these girls are acting, when you see them looking like these reality stars and these entertainers, that's because that's all they see. They don't see shows like Mary Tyler Moore and Rhoda and all those shows I grew up on, Happy Days, all the fun shows. They were clean. We're not seeing that anymore. That's gone. Or correct me if I'm wrong. I know I'm not seeing it because when I want to rest my mind and my soul and feed my soul something good, I have to dig way back and watch the reruns. That's what I do, but I don't think our kids are doing that. They're seeing all of this, and this is how they think the world is. And I have to remind them there's better shows. And trust me, we were a little better than this. We didn't act out like this. Well, of course, we didn't have reality shows when I was coming up, but we had soap operas. And that's what I was saying when I looked at these shows. I said, these aren't nothing but over exaggerated soap operas. This is not their life. Most of this is not their true life. And if I want to watch a soap opera, I'll just binge watch the old ones. But this is what we have now, guys. You have to be careful what you're feeding your soul. And you have to talk to your daughters and granddaughters because what they're seeing is not ladylike at all. And when I see the girls and when I talk to the girls, they're nothing like I was when I was a teenager. Now, I'm not going to say we didn't sneak and do things or we didn't try to be bad by puffing on a cigarette or opening up a can of beer and even taking a swig off of some night train. What was that, Mad Dog 2020 back in the day? I'm not going to say any of us, we weren't holier than thou, but we weren't exposed to all of this. This is too much exposure right on daytime television. When they wanted to do something what they call a little risque, that was nighttime. They didn't have that on the daytime. But what I'm seeing is just a lot of negative energy, and that energy pours over into our kids' soul. And this is all they see, and this is how they act. So we're saying, oh, these kids are so unruly. Why do you think they're so unruly? Hollywood is making sure that they're unruly. Satan's job is to start while they're young, attack them while they're young. And that's what I'm seeing. And that's why I can't watch too much TV. But I can pick it apart because I'm too well aware and too strong to let this stuff get into my soul. I watch it because I want to talk about it. I watch some of it because I want to see who's who, but I don't let it get into my soul. So I'm hoping and praying that some of these producers will open their hearts up to have a couple shows that are a little bit kid friendly, for one, and have shows that show more light than darkness. There's so much darkness out here. There's so much violence already in the streets. Why do we have to keep seeing this on TV? Why do we have to keep seeing these fake friendships? Stop lying to us. It's not a friendship. That's not what a friendship is. So sit down with your young girls and just talk about them being ladylike and proper. I remember when I was coming up, there were classes to teach you and show you how to be a little lady. I wanted to go, but I think my mom didn't have the money to send me. I believe it was called Charm School. I had a girlfriend that went, and I wanted to go, but I believe my mother couldn't afford to pay for me to go. But my girlfriend would come home and tell me everything: how to cross my legs, how to drink my tea, what fork was the fork we were supposed to use for dinner and then the other fork for dessert and things like that. They had that charm school back then. And that's how I learned. Aside from my mother being a lady, because she was definitely a lady, so she was a good role model, but that's how I learned other things. I'm sure they have it. I'm sure if I Google, I could probably find something on YouTube. But that's where we need to be sending our girls. So this is my 2 cents, guys. I was asked to binge watch these shows, and I just said, "Oh my God, I got to jump on here and just question what are we feeding our souls. Because if this is all we're watching, I'm a sports fan. So in between all of this, I watch a lot of sports. I'll say 80% of my TV watching is sports. So, and then the other 10% may be cartoons. I still like the old stuff. Had a good conversation with one of my cousins about Tweety Bird, and she said, "Oh, I didn't know you like Tweety Bird. I love Tweety Bird." I'll get on there and I watch the old cartoons. Sometimes I'll have to laugh because I'm like, we didn't look at this as violence, but why am I seeing the violence in it now? Road runner, running off the road, things like that. I have to laugh because we had a kid's mind. We were fed a lot of garbage and we didn't look at it like that. I bet I sat there and laughed at all of this. Love, love, love the Flintstones. Whenever my mind is weary, I turn on the Flintstones. And remember, laughing is good for us. It's so healthy. So I'll get on there and I'll watch cartoons. It's rare that I binge watch any of these shows. I don't do nothing but get upset because, as you see, I see what they're trying to feed us. I don't like how it tastes, and I just didn't want to support it. But now that I'm on here, tell me which shows you want me to watch. I'll binge watch them, I'll critique them, and I'll let you know what I think. So if you've gotten this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting my page. I was tickled because I just got on here a couple days ago and I was so tickled I had 10 followers. I didn't think I would get any, but so I thank you all for watching my page. I'll be back on here with some more stuff because I'm jotting down a lot of things I want to talk about, but I do appreciate if you send me your feedback and let me know what you may want me to talk about on my page. I promise to keep it clean. There'll be no cursing. Someone told me my voice was calming, and then somebody else said my voice was soothing. Never heard that before, but Lord, I'll take it because if I could have this calming voice and get this message out, that is what I plan to do on here. So you'll catch me with another video soon. Have a blessed night.